Welcome back. I know we've been gone for a couple of weeks, but we are back in effect. Life happens, so sometimes you got to take a break from things to kind of get shit together. But we're back. This is going to be something new I want to try. This is going to be our first reaction show. Want to react to some of the top stories and videos that's going around the internet. And like I said, the panel is open, so if anybody who's watching wants to jump up and give their 2 cents, you're more than welcome. Got to be respectful. Got to cam up because it's only fair. So without further ado, I just want to do two of my favorites here. First of all, I want to give what up to my cousin, Mr. TJ. How you doing there, sir? Chipping wine. That's what's up.
Can't wait to hear these topics.
Okay. Next, we got the always entertaining Miss Polly. How you doing?
I'm good.
You know what? Since this is going to be a free fall, you can just leave your mics unmuted and just let's just keep it rocking. Unless you hear an echo or something like that, just leave it muted and just jump in. So, lots going on in these internet streets. You know, I had a lot of time to just sit back and watch YouTube, and some of the things that caught my eye, I just kind of wanted to share with people and get other people's opinion on. Let's start off with no further ado. Let's start off with the first video. Let's bring it up here. Now, hold on.
This past weekend. And of course, many stories of who all attended and the touching speeches that were made flooded the news outlets. But speaking of this interesting thing that kind of took off, I was going to get your guys' take on this. Young Miami. She is a label mate of Takeoff's. And when she went to the services, immediately went viral because of her outfit. And afterwards, she took some selfies against a car and she posted, "I haven't been feeling well, but I came out for Takeoff and his family. I love my QC family," with 2 pictures of her posing near some cars.
Who is that?
That's Young Miami. So right now, a lot of people are upset because they said it's very distasteful. Some people are saying, we know you're not the brightest, but posting a funeral fit for likes doesn't get more tackier than this. Others are feeling that, look at all these celebrities using Takeoff's funeral as a photo op. Anyway, so Young Miami was quick to fire back, saying, "What I choose to do after the funeral has nothing to do with anything, and that when my baby's father died, I did the same shit. Actually, I was shaking my ass on the car. What I wear and me taking pics has nothing to do with me coming to support and be there for someone when it's needed." Next. So now people are going, okay, you're not getting there. Anyway, everybody's giving their opinion on they feel that it was not in good taste or what have you.
That's one P did it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I let you finish, but I'm saying,
No,
like,
I'm done.
When you look at that girl right there, I just don't understand, what could you possibly want from her but to fuck her? I can't even imagine. What would you do with a bitch? The bitch hair fake, makeup, glasses, dressed like a whore. What could you do but fuck her? If you try to be with a woman like that, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is why we need hard-working men in the house.
Especially P. Diddy.
If you got a man who worked for his...
He's not only with her. He's with a lot of other people.
Who told you that?
What do you mean who told her? He says, what are you talking about? He's not exclusively with her.
P. Diddy, hold on. P. Diddy...
50 Cent's girl, too.
P. Diddy got money.
Ex girl.
Yeah. Are we in any motherfucker? Do we agree on that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
P. Diddy got money. A bitch like that is what come with money. She not for keeping. She's for fucking and ducking. You don't grab a bitch. Look, here go another picture of the bitch out here. Bust down. Bust down. Let us see the monkey. Where the monkey at?
And you see how she...
It ain't got that part on it.
You see how she allows him to treat her.
I think I saw her talk one day too.
She's got a pot. He paid for it. She's got a show.
When I saw her talk, I was rolling. I was like, oh, this is a fucking idiot. Have you ever heard her talk?
I've never watched.
Oh my God, it's so sad.
Hmm.
She said something. She was talking to Diddy on some little interview. She said, "So what me and you is?"
Oh, I saw that clip. Oh, I
was
did.
like,
Yeah, you're right.
Who is this fucking dumbass ever?
And she was smitten with him, though.
She for fucking women when they come like that. Ain't nothing wrong with you being a young man getting off. But if you talking about this your woman, I know you don't know what the fuck you doing in the game of life. You bitch raised. If that's your woman, ain't no motherfucking man out here working hard to be motherfucking somebody who is respectable gonna be able to walk around holding that up in the air. Only thing that you supposed to hold up in the air is her legs.
All right. Now, the question is he wrong? Is he wrong? Is he wrong? Is he wrong that, is he wrong to categorize her as somebody just to have fun with, somebody that you cannot seriously take serious? I'm going to go to you, Miss Polly. Is he wrong?
Oh, it's up to me. Okay. Oh, damn. It was a lot there. I mean, she's young, right? She's like in her 20s, right?
Yeah, she's like 28 or something, 27, 28 or something like that.
I mean, yeah, I guess she's not that young, but I mean, still, I don't mean it like that. I mean, like, she's not like, adolescent, close to adolescent. So, it's hard right now. I'm gonna be real honest with you. It's hard right now because it's like you get that men like to look at this. They give them attention. They having babies by people. They shoot. You make a whole look like they winning. I don't know. You say they're not winning, but they winning because they getting all the men and all this because of how they look. And then the same ones will turn around when they get ready to settle down and call them hoes. So it's confusing for women, I think personally, because you be like, oh, those are hoes. When you turn 40, they're a hoe. But up to before that, that's your down to ride, your baby mama, and so I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what happens. Usually when a man wants to settle down, he don't want the girls half naked because he don't want to compete with the men who want her, but he wants somebody who got a turtle, neck on and wants to cook dinner, and that's who he wants now. And then all of them are just hoes because he can't find somebody to settle down. And so it's confusing. It's confusing.
I got you. All right, TJ. TJ, you go. What's happening?
First, I'm gonna address the whole should she have worn that to the funeral thing.
Hold on, TJ. Hold on. I just want to say fair use. That's all my videos are going to be from YouTube, and all of them fall under the YouTube fair use standard. So that was Corey Holcomb, 5150 show. Go ahead, TJ.
All right. So first of all, I want to address the whole should she have worn that to the funeral thing, and that'll lead into my point. So obviously she's out there for shine. Like she's out there for shine. She's promoting herself, whatever the case may be. I would say, nah, of course you don't. That's not a funeral outfit. I mean, that's a club outfit. But shit's different nowadays, and everybody got to shine. Everybody got to make sure that they get their little. But again, she's out there to shine. So I'm gonna say he ain't necessarily wrong. He might have came a little harsh, but he ain't wrong. Like you ain't bringing that home to mama. Like who's bringing that home to mama? Who's like, yo, baby, put that outfit on that you wore to the funeral, and then come to my house so I can introduce you to my mother. Ain't nobody do. That's like, hey, I met her at the club. We gonna have a good time. I'm gonna bend you over, like Oh Lord. In the limo on the way to the funeral, but like that's not. Ain't nobody bringing that home to mama. So I don't think he was wrong. He might have just came at it like a little harsher than like necessary. But it's a podcast, and he's trying to get those clicks and views and shit. But yeah, that's not a yo. I'm about to wife this. I'm about to one night this.
That's what's
Wait, but I have a question about this. I do have a question about this.
What's up?
Okay, so you remember how they just said, Puffy, sorry if I had, Sean, whatever, he is at a certain status so that he can, have more than one woman. Now I heard men say it doesn't apply to women, but since she is in a different league compared to most women, I mean, she's probably, I don't know if she's had work done, but she has those things available to her. Whatever she got going on, access to clothing, access to bottle popping and run around. Does that put her in a different category when it comes to possibly dating long term, though, for a woman like that? Like Beyonce, she rocks around with her boobs out and pussy out too. Why is she different than her?
I mean, because when Beyonce do it, it comes off like a costume, or it's part of the show. She don't walk around funerals with her boobs out and stuff like that, Well,
we're gonna take away from the funeral. The funeral was wrong. That was for sure.
But that's indicative of how she kind of rock it. And I don't, before I get, in the playback, people get comments, we jumping on black women. There's women like this, every race, creed, color, whatever. This just happened to be a black woman that Corey Holcomb was talking about. But it's just like one of those things where it's just like there's a certain level of appropriateness you just gotta have, because like that's why a Sean Combs will have fun with her, because he said she reminds him of the chicks from around the way when he was growing up, and he missed those around the way, because when you're around models and all this like fake stuff, you want to be around people that are real, even if that real is ignorant. Right. I'm sorry, even if that real is like what it is what it is, And so
you're right.
And so I will say this though. I think Corey Holcomb thought that through the whole term around. She's a hoe, whatever. Ain't nothing wrong with hoes though. Like I like hoes. Like hoes serve a purpose.
They have their place,
Yeah,
they're meant for purpose.
I've met some really nice. Like I remember meeting a girl. Knew she was home, went to her house, banged out, and like I needed a ride home, and she's like, "Hey, just take my car." Like she gave me her car like the next morning and let me drive her car home. It's not nice. Well, I mean, sometimes hoes get bad.
hoes can be nice, high quality hoe. Not the whole bus station, but the high quality top shelf hoe. Okay, I get you. But I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just like they can date like the high profile guy, but the longevity just ain't there. It's just not there in those kind of situations, because he's of a different caliber where he could bring anybody anywhere, and he's already established himself and who he is. But a person coming up trying to establish himself, trying to really show they're about something, just like Corey said, will that like put him 2 steps back if he tried to bring a woman like that to like a function where he has to try to impress somebody? I think we just lost Polly, but I'm sure she'll jump back. I mean, so
he ain't like you say, he's not doing that. That's come to the house. We might go to a movie, but like you say, he's not taking her to business meetings. Like that's not, if he's going to like some Jay-Z 40-40 ball, that's not the girl that's gonna be on his own.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and she needs to understand that the funny thing is, like he was talking about, I seen that actual clip when she was just like, because it became like a viral like clip that people use for like TikTok and Instagram, like we go together. He was like, we go together. He was like, yeah. She was like, real big, and she was like, oh, whatever you say, because it turns out he just didn't want to embarrass her on her own show, saying no. I'm for the streets, and that when you kick it with me, I'm from the streets. I have a long documented history of being for the streets. So I don't know why like she would get with him thinking that she may switch something up. But all I know is like for the regular guy, it would be difficult to like justify having a woman who's just that unaware of shit if you're really trying to be out there, work hard, and put yourself up in a make yourself a more prominent figure in society. It's just a little bit higher. I mean, and who knows? That's young, that's youth. Maybe she could turn it around and she'd be a little bit more conservative with things and what have you. But
I'm so sorry, dear.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think right now it's really important that we do recognize us older people. I'm not saying we're way older, but or for people who are late 20s, you know, or 30s. You know, we've gone through a situation where things have changed. You know, technology has really held people a lot more accountable for things in even growing up. Like, let's, for example, like, you know, when we started growing up, you know, somebody trying to take a photo of you doing something scandalous was like, oh my gosh, they have a photo of me. And it was like this big thing, you know. And I used to be scared for anyone to take photos of me and all that. That was creepy to me. I'm like, oh my God. So if you make a mistake back when that wasn't a big thing, where not everyone had a cell phone, you can make mistakes in your community. And then later on, when you grew up, you know, you look different, you could try to transition in your community and be another person. Nowadays, you have stuff on YouTube that it never goes away. You have dressing somebody can go back and look 4 years back and see you doing dumb stuff that you don't want to be part of anymore. It's like it holds you accountable to the point where you can't even really make mistakes or mess up and slip up, because you know what people do when they're 19, somebody could go look that up and find it when you're 40. So you're held accountable for being young and stupid, you know, or at least looked at differently. I think it's just different for them. So for her, like, she might be having fun, but when you're 40 trying to find a man and he's like, hey, I know you've been ran through at least 12 people, you can't even deny them. Women I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's out, not they don't try to clip me and say I said that. It is true. Girls lie about their body count. I know they do. Not everybody's a whole, but it's because it makes you can't hide behind anything anymore. You've been in social media now with 52 people, right? On your Instagram. 10 years from now, you're gonna tell your husband you had only 8 body count? He can go look. He can see. It ain't even 8, you know. He can see smashing 12 people in Cancun. He see it now, you know. Like, I think it kind of hurts people who want to start over.
The only saving grace is the only saving grace is if you show the progression out of that. Like, if all you show the steps you took to get at, just like they see when you in there. If you show the progression out of that, people can see it. Because if you just tell somebody, if they know that you got X amount of bodies and you've been doing X amount of shit, and you just tell them, oh no, I ain't doing that shit no more. But if they see the transformation, there's a possibility for them to see it, and it's more seeing is believing. Go ahead, TJ.
So you show the strip club, and then church, and then you good. So
then you good.
You did not. But so Dave, you said something a second ago, I guess. So I haven't seen the clip, whatever. So Diddy was on her show. She was basically saying we go together, and he was like, nah, not really. So either she's delusional, or Diddy lied about something, because he must be saying something in the bedroom that makes her think that we kind of go together.
Well, what happens is, like, it was all this stuff. Like, he be with her one week, and then the next week on the boat, he on a yacht with who's that? Lil Bow Wow baby mama kissing her.
Oh,
you know, and then she's like, and then he's on another situation with 50 Cent baby mama. You know,
okay. So like I said, either she's delusional or he's telling her something that makes it. So it sounds like she's delusional.
I think what it is like she's just trying to claim, because women compete with other women real bad, right, like she said, you know. So she just wanted to show, like, I'm the one that he gonna be on TV saying that we together when he just smashing you other bras. I'm the bottom. I'm the number one bitch. That's what she trying to put out to the world. But that's some young-minded shit, because he's not gonna say nothing to embarrass her. But you know, as soon as him camera was off, he was like, come with me. Let me just talk to you for a second, you know. And then she went. I think then she went. It was like, you know, it was all for play. It was all for yada yada yada. We're friends and blah blah blah. You know. She switched up real quick, because I'm sure he was in her ear talking about, yeah, you need to get on and social media and check that shit. So I think that.
And be like, Diddy, what you getting out of that shit? Just like youth, like because she's young. Like, I feel like Diddy could get better, more established. You know,
but like I said,
it's for fun.
He likes the origin. He likes the realness of her, and he said she reminds him of the chicks from around the way when he was growing up, like the Little Kims. He has that Little Kim vibe. She has that Little Kim kind of energy, Like,
Okay.
you know, so I think he misses that, messing with all these models who are all about, like, you know, bougie shit. Sometimes he wants to go to, like, you know, Popeyes and get that chicken sandwich, you know, and she down for that. I mean, you know, you ain't taking some of them models to Popeyes. You got to go to like Le Cirque and all that shit.
I don't
She's
care
like,
how
I could go.
Popeyes is happening. At some
Popeyes
point.
is happening. I mean, seriously. So, all right. Well, that was that. I'm gonna get into the next one. The next video, let me go into share my screen, is gonna be from a show called Eight at the Table. This woman named Kayla. Kayla's dope. I was been on a couple panels with her on Cruise Season. Shout out Cruise Seasons. She's a attractive, opinionated, very opinionated, strong Black woman, and she had something to say about a specific topic. It was at the very beginning of the show, so it's going to be the first 30 seconds. It's not going to be as long as the other one, but let me jump into that one real quick. Give me a second. All right. Okay. Here we go.
For letting people court them into trial marriages, being with people 5, 6, 7 years. We're not doing that. Like, you're gonna court me for marriage. You're not gonna court me to date me and put me on a shelf for years.
But that's what women
want. So you figure out what you want to do, and this is why a lot of women are still unmarried. And like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? No, like, we've dating. You're gonna get to know me. Then you're gonna start courting me, and you show me that you want me to be a part of your life. You want to marry me. Then you need to marry me. But courting has a time frame. It's not.
All right. What do y'all think about that? And I've seen that many times where people have been engaged to somebody for 7, 8 years or what have you, and it never ends up happening. Do you think that men, just to kind of lock down or put their chicks on the shelf, are like proposing with no intention of getting married? And if that's the case, should women only be with dudes who have expressed that they're courting them for marriage, if they want marriage?
So I'll jump in this one first, because I'm one of them weirdos that I've never had a girlfriend, but I've been married. But Dame knows the story. I knew my wife for 2 weeks before we got married, because I've always been the type, like, if you're gonna be my girlfriend, then that means I can see you as my wife, because there's only 2 options when somebody's your girlfriend. You either break up or you marry them. That's basically it. So it's like, if I can't see you as my wife, like, you'll never be my girlfriend. So I do get what she's saying, and I've known people in my family, like, so y'all been engaged 6 years. Like, what else you need to learn that you ain't learned in the first 6 years? Like, how do you stay engaged to somebody for 6 years without marrying? Like, to me, that shit don't make no sense. I'm like, what else? Like, what you trying to figure out? Like, if you don't know my first year, to me, it's like what y'all even kind of still in it.
Yeah.
So
All right, Miss Paul, you got to mute if you're gonna be doing stuff.
I'm so sorry.
There you go.
So I'm kind of on her page, where it's like, hey, like, if we dating, in my opinion, at some point y'all should be talking about, all right, is this we trying to do a future with this, or are we just fucking around? Because if we just fucking around and I'm trying to get a future, then we can go and let this shit go now. So I guess I'm agreeing with her that if you dating, it should be to an end, and not just for fun.
What do you think about that, Miss Polly?
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree. I do agree too. A big point on that. I do feel like some men feel so pressured into giving a ring out, like a promise or a proposal, that some of them will just do it, and they'll say, oh, well, I can put it off and see, that's really what I want to do. And they really don't have any intention on going through with it at that moment. They're not sure. And a lot of women are pushing that, like, after a year, you should know if we're going to be married, And I can understand that some people may seem like they need more time to do that, but yeah, personally, like you said, I don't think you're weird, because I'm like that. Like I'll meet someone and I'm like, okay, I get to know them a little bit and then find out we're on the kind of the same path, and see if we're like, I'll start combining them into my life while we're dating. So it's like, this is who I am. Like when I'm at the grocery store, I'm gonna be on the phone with you. When I'm doing stuff with my kids or something, you're gonna be on the phone with me or something. So you can see how I move. So if this is something you want to do, you're gonna kind of start seeing that fairly soon. It's not gonna be like you need 7 years to figure out if you think I'm a good mother or you think I can cook well. You won't know. So you should probably know if you're gonna marry me.
Yeah.
And even if you don't do it right then, I won't say like you have to do it right then. Maybe you want a big wedding or something, but the intent needs to be there of something. Like, hey, you know what? I feel like you're gonna be my wife. There's got to be something like that. And that's from I don't really believe in documented marriage, but I do believe in the long-term commitment, because I'm trying to make moves. I ain't trying to play. So, it's one of those things for me.
And I walk back that a little bit, because I did want to say that. You just mentioned that. I ain't necessarily saying you got to date to marry, but it's like, okay, are we dating to be something? Like, are we trying to be in a committed relationship? Like, let's decide that shit up front. First month or two. For me anyway, like I guess I just know shit early. So like, hey, we get into 2 arguments in the first 2 weeks. Like, yeah, this ain't going nowhere. Like, we've been together 2 weeks and we arguing already. Like, yeah, we can smash a couple more times and I'm gonna go ahead and bounce on out.
Right. I mean, yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, who's at fault when you in a situation where you with somebody 5, 7, 10 years, if you're looking to get married, and it hasn't happened, who's at fault? Is it because men will only go as far as they're pushed to go, or if they already had the intention to go. Like if a man is really feel like, damn, I could lose this woman if I don't lock her down, I need to really step up. Or like you said, if you're dating with the intention of I was planning on, I like you, I'm continuing to see you because I have intention of making this something more significant, But if you are accepting a dude who's just kind of dragging his feet for 8 years, and you want marriage, I think it gets to a point where I think the women got to take responsibility, accountability for the fact that they're accepting that shit, because there's some dudes who have zero intention of getting married, but they want you because they know how good you are.
Right. Just holding you. They're holding you. Basically, they're just like keeping you as a placeholder. I know people say that a lot, but people do that. They just want, like I've heard men say, like, I want a girlfriend. And I always, when people say that, that's a bad sign. You want a girlfriend. That's not enough. You need to want me. I can say I want food, but if you're not specifying it's a specific item you want, then it just sounds like anything's available. That means at any moment when you find something that could be better than you thought you had with me, you're going to dip on me. So for me, that's not a good relationship to be in anyway. It just sounds like I've heard guys say, like, I want kids. I want a family. But that's not enough, because if it's not the right person, you don't want that with the wrong person. So just saying you want, in general, just a woman, it's not enough. I'll be honest, that's not enough. I'm glad you want them, but like find out what you want in a person. Like get more detailed. That general, I just want a woman isn't good enough.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm gonna shout out. So we got Miss Shannon watching in the chat. She's at work, probably got us on the phone watching up. What's up, Shannon? Can't wait to see you again back on this thing. And then we got Miss Monica Daniel, my cuz, all the way from Georgia. What's up, cuzzo? Appreciate your love. All right. So yeah, I'm with. Go ahead.
I'll say, like, I've known people married, engaged 6, 7 years, and I've asked, at least the person I knew, like, what is it? What else do you need to know? Like, what 6, 7 years, you know, y'all live together. Like, what's holding you back? And some of the stuff that they say, I won't put people business out, but some of the stuff they say, I'm just like, maybe don't get married. Then if you having all them thoughts and thinking all that shit, like, don't get married. But they end up getting married. So.
I mean, it's one of those. Reese from Philly, what's up, my brother? Reese from Philly, good to see you there, Red Dragon.
Right. And you ever notice the ones who wait so long, as soon as they get married, they get like a divorce like fairly quickly. It's almost like the commitment itself stresses them out. That's why I kind of, like I said, for me, when it comes to that commitment, some people don't want the actual commitment of being with the person that they're with. Let's say they might like them. They say, oh, they're a good person or whatever, but they may have some doubts about some things financially even. That's a big one, financially. Like, they're horrible with fucking money. Do you want to marry someone and be connected to them legally through finances when they can't keep themselves out the casino? Like, I think those kind of things, and that's a good point. Don't marry that person. You know what I'm saying? Don't marry that person, because obviously that means a lot to you and you value it, and that's going to cause stress for you. And it's not going to be a good marriage anyway. Regardless if you like them, if that is something that you value and they're going to destroy it, stay away from it. It's not a good match. We got to learn how to say no to things that are bad for us, even when we want it. You know, cake is good, like, but we don't need it.
dudes that be out here breaking women's brain, they'll be engaged for 8-9 years, get out of a relationship, and to get married a year later.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen that happen many a times, because they realize, you know, unfortunately, you let them realize that, oh man, I need to lock shit down if I'm really gonna be in it. You know, I can't do that with every woman. So you put in their mind that they need to move quicker on this one, or they tell the other woman, hey, yeah, I was in a relationship, it was 8 years. How come you didn't marry her? I don't know, finance, blah, blah, blah. And this woman, she says, no, that ain't gonna be me. So we need to get married. If you need to be thinking that you need to marry me. And then the men do it, because men will step up to whatever. I don't know, like, women think men have all this power, but when it comes to dating, women have so much power that they don't even wield anymore, because society has tricked them into thinking they don't even have that shit. Because men will step up to whatever level you put. If, like you said, if women, he said, if men could fuck in a cardboard box, they wouldn't buy houses. You know, if they know, because you have what they coveted most, they will step up to whatever level you put on. And if all women in unison said, okay, here are the standards that you got to meet for us in order to be with us. You have to have a job. You have to you can't have, you know, a bunch of kids and a bunch of baby mamas. You got to be healthy, be in shape. Men would reach, that's where we would have to be, because we want what y'all have so bad. That's where we would step up to that level and be fine doing it. We wouldn't even be tripping off of it. We'd be happy to do it. Mm-hmm. But I think women just think, oh no, men will never, like this. I was on this podcast with women was talking about men will never do this. Women, I was like, if y'all tell us to get some, we'll do that. But if y'all take anything we throw at you and y'all like, okay, that's all we have to do, that's the bare minimum, that's what we're gonna do in a lot of cases. All right, I just want to give a shout out to my man Taz. What's up, brother? Feel free to jump up if you want to. It's all good. It's an open panel tonight.
I think that applies to women too. I think we try to do one or the other. I think it applies to women also. I think women want to be in relationships at this point, you know, so badly that, I mean, they do it now. Men say they like girls with big ass, you know, now they're getting BBL. They don't give a crap if it's unhealthy. They don't care. You know, they said, oh, they like long flowy hair. They didn't sew it all up. You know, oh, now we like natural. They take it all out. It's really who they're trying to attract, depending on what person that is. And they're going to modify their bodies to get that. I mean, I know guys don't really do too much of that. Y'all get the gym and because guys, their muscles.
It's all about our wallet. We flex like either you fake. We
That's
get
what you
fake.
flex.
We get the Chrysler that looks like the Rolls Royce instead of getting. We get, that's what we false flagging. That's what they do. That's what men do. They front like they got all this money. They get the baby mama that they had for 7 years that ain't married. They get their tax return or they get their check and they go and floss on the next check. They go and pop a bottle in the club on the next check to act like they're doing more they're doing.
Wait a second. Listen, I'm going to put this out there. This is going to be a public service announcement. Tax time is coming. This happens every time. Everyone falls in love. They say it's winter time. It's not winter time. It's tax time. That's what happens. You get a boo. They spend all their money. And then by March, while all the money gone, they start breaking up. Okay. Right after they spend all their money on Valentine's Day. And then they lose all their money. And then they go back to step one. And they have no girlfriend in the summer. And they start running wild. It's like a cycle that happens every year. And people are just like blind. Like, he's not booing up with you. He knows you got, some money coming.
It's cold outside. He's covering up what they say, hobosexuals. It's cold outside. He needs someplace to sleep.
You got 3 kids. That's a lot of stuff you can claim on them taxes.
Oh, you getting a good job. You got that good job, good government job. This one comedian said, like when he was like down bad, he'd go to Target and like check out women's carts and see who had like matching pillows and candles and shit. Like, and be like, oh, I bet you put it real good together, real good. What's your name? What you call it? Shannon is saying that she's starting to feel like marriage isn't necessary.
What kind of marriage, Shannon?
I mean, marriage has never been necessary. It's just like the thing people do.
Oh man, okay. Get a shout out to my man World Kings. World Kings is he is a Thundercat. I've been on a couple of panels with him. That is a Thundercat for real. He's a wildcat, man. So shout out to World Kings, man.
Yeah. I know everyone, and then like a lot of men are upset that women aren't marrying. A lot of women don't want to marry anymore. I don't know. A lot of women don't want to marry, but there's a lot of women who want to be married. And it's like this, they want to be married because they feel like, I'll be honest, because, you told your whole life as a woman that being married is like, that's the pinnacle of your whole life. Like, that's what you're really aiming for, is to find a husband and marry you. But then that's the issue too with some women. Once you get married, what happens? Like, you've hit the peak now. What happens? Now everything's down here. You have your kids, you're gaining some weight, you don't keep it together. So like, that's the height of your life, is just to look good at your wedding pictures, get some cake, tell everybody you got a ring, and try to keep it together so you'll stay together for a little bit, have your kids.
Except for a little bit,
there's nothing really left. That's what I think happens. And it's like, because you didn't have a goal with your husband.
Marriage is not an ending. Marriage can be a beginning if you're doing it, if you're with the right person. It can be the beginning of something else.
I didn't say that.
You made it sound like that. There's people watching there, they be like, oh my God, your life is over. You have a good party, you look good in your dress.
That's how they feel.
Then you might as well just open a window and jump out.
No, but a lot of men and women feel that way. And that's why you should find the right person. You can't just be marrying somebody just because they're a man and they ask you to marry them. So what? That's not enough. I think it's like this bare minimum thing that some people just do. It's just like, someone asked me to marry them. Okay. Like, it's not enough. You need someone to really want to be there. Life is supposed to be a journey you spend with somebody if you're going to be in a commitment that strong. So why try to pick it with people that aren't going to really matter to you, or you don't really care about? You just want a ring. You just want to say you were married. That's not enough.
Hopefully you picked better, and you did your due diligence to find somebody who's about some shit, and y'all was on the same path. What you gonna say, TJ?
I was saying, like Daniel said, I think that's the issue, is that women are kind of, program might not be the right word, but women be planning marriages since they was doing like Barbies with like Ken. Like, so they've been planning on getting married since they was like 5 years old.
Right.
So a lot of times it's women who get into relationships and like, so are we getting married or what? The dude's like, oh damn, I'm just trying to get to know you and have a good time, but okay, I guess we need to start talking about marriage now. So it'd be more y'all than us, Miss Polly.
Yeah, I'm just saying think about that. You just meet somebody. I find it weird when men ask me about sex after 3 sentences. And I'm not saying you don't think I'm attractive. It's just like you don't know me. Like you don't know anything about me. You don't know my last name. You don't know where I live. You just straight showing too much. It's like it's like a crazy.
I mean, it depends on where you meet them too. Like if you like the environment can dictate whether or not if it's anywhere where there's things are low in the inhibition. If you meet them in a bar, club, anywhere where there's alcohol, anywhere there's music, anywhere where then it's just like one of those things where the vibe is just different. It's geared toward kind of like that kind of primal shit. You know,
I will accept it.
And if
and you get an inbox, they say, "Hey, how's your day, beautiful?" "Oh, my day's well. How was your day?" "Oh, it was good." "Okay, that's wonderful."
What color are your nipples? Yeah, I know.
And then like, "Oh, let me lick it from the back." "Wait, sir,
You know?
what happened?"
I mean, your name is Miss Polly, so I mean, they kind of so.
I'm a trigger starter.
It's just like, you know, I'm just kidding.
You know, but a lot of people don't know what my name means, and they just kind of look at it for a while. And I say, it's okay. You know, you'll work it through, you know, but most of the time it is. I'm a trigger starter. I'm not offended by anyone who comes at me like that, but I know I'm not the only person. I know there's other women who say sometimes it's I want you to be attracted, but it's like, I think the hop to being like, you know, just hopping into stuff, women too. You talk to a man for 15 minutes. "Oh, do you see me as your wife?" Who asked that after 2 days? Like, no.
Where is this going? Let me read. So Shannon said, women don't need a man to survive anymore. So it isn't necessary for most women to feel that their worth is attached to having a man. So they make that a goal. I mean, they don't need men for survival. But I mean, just a lot of studies would say that women in relationships are the happiest women out there, especially when they get past the age of 40. Yes. So I don't know. You know, I'm sure I'm not saying that there's no other ways to find fulfillment and happiness out there, but I'm just saying what the studies say that women over 40 who've had children and committed relationships are usually the happiest. You know, if you find a different fact, I will.
Yeah, I can see that. You want companionship, but not necessarily marriage. Like I
exactly. That's a good.
40-year-old women are amazing. I just want you all to know, if y'all looking out here for a boo, find a woman over 40. They are amazing in every way. I've never met a 40-year-old woman who didn't know what the hell she wanted and where she was going, and she was positive and had comfort. Something. She was just one day wonderful. Go find her.
And she got skills. They got skills.
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 They're wonderful. They're wonderful. I'm letting you.
Monica said, "Lord, well, I've had this conversation with my single friends all this week, and I've been married for 23 years. We have to stop attaching women's value to marriage." I agree. Women's value is not wrapped around marriage.
You're above that.
You know?
No.
All right. We're gonna go to the next clip or what have you. This is gonna be the next one. Now this goes to something. This was people probably have seen this. It was Young Jock and his wife Kendra were doing an interview for a magazine, and kind of went to the left. He had to kind of like, people call it checker. I say corrector, whatever. But yeah, he was not feeling what she was putting down. Here we go.
But you say that
the children are not the issue.
Don't just make it seem like I'm a bad person. Don't make some
I'm
fucked up individual. What you're not gonna do is do that.
I didn't say that.
Well, that's how you put it. You said you wouldn't want my son to be like me.
I wouldn't want them to do some of the things that you have done.
Oh, and I wouldn't want my daughters to do some of the things you've done. We're human. That's what I'm trying to say.
Them to do majority of the things that I've done.
Listen, what I'm saying is, when you talk about me, don't sum me up.
Facts, right?
Don't sum me up on the worst side of me or what you consider the worst side of me. Because ain't nobody fucking perfect. So don't do that. That's what we're not gonna do. Because as a man, guess what? I got to stand on mine too.
Yeah,
Because
you do.
guess what? Let me tell you something.
do.
I didn't go to college. Guess
That's
what?
fine.
I want my kids to go to college. So we can say that
That's
right
good.
now. I don't want them to go that direction. I want them to go to college. I can say that with you too.
Right.
But don't sit here in front of the world, in front of a medium, and say, "Oh, I wouldn't want my son or your sons to be like you." Hold on. No, we got you gonna put some respect on my name, because at the end of the day, I'm successful. I take care of my kids.
Okay.
Ain't none of my kids out here in dire need of love and support. So we're gonna do that, okay? Because I don't appreciate that. Because there's some things about you that I could say I wouldn't want my daughters to do.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna
Tell
do
me.
that. I respect you and I love you enough.
I want this magazine to know
No.
what it is about me. You don't want your daughters.
I'm not gonna do that.
Like, you should.
I'm not gonna do that.
Be my guest.
I'm not
gonna be slighted, honey.
I'm not gonna do that. That's where we have to draw the line.
Okay.
Because I don't care because the camera in front of me or somebody's asking me questions. I'm not gonna reveal my everything that go on with me. Just like right now, you ain't gonna sit here in front of these people and tell what your credit score is. You ain't gonna sit here and tell them your social security number. You ain't gonna sit here and tell them what's in your bank account either.
I won't.
Okay, so some things are better left fucking unsaid and in the private, and that's what I'm gonna do. So when you addressing me, don't ever make it seem like I'm the worst of the worst, because I'm not.
Okay.
Because I came through and changed your life, and it wasn't about me having no money. It was about the integrity. It was about my integrity. It was about me standing up for you. It was about me helping you open your eyes to see things that no other man has gotten you to do. So when you talk about me and address me, please be mindful of that, because I love you for who you are, good and bad.
You know I love you for who you are.
But I would never say to the world that I wouldn't want my daughters to be like you, because then it makes me question, why are you with me?
I'm not with you for the bad things. I'm not with you for having outside.
But just don't ever say that again, please.
Okay. Well, you asked me.
You got it in this interview. Don't let me hear you say that again.
Okay.
No, please, thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate it.
Wow. What do y'all think of that? TJ, what you think of that? Was he justified in checking her?
It was beautiful, and I feel like she didn't get it until he was like, "Oh, can we talk about your credit score?" And she's like, "Oh, I mean, nah, we don't want it." Like, then you understand where I'm coming from? Like, see, he is correct. And I'm assuming at some point she said, "I don't want my kids to be like you," which is some fucked up shit to say about the father of your children. And again, if you don't want your kids to be like him, why the fuck are you with him? Just think things don't always add up. So, like kind of like he was saying, maybe I get the whole, hey, there's some things I don't like about you. There's some things you did wrong that I hope you would teach our children to not do. But to say I don't want my kids to be like you, yeah, that's kind of taking it too far.
What do you think, Miss Polly?
Yeah, I think she was. I think like you said, she didn't get it. Unfortunately, I don't think she actually got it the whole time. I think she was kind of starting to get worried that he was going to say something that she thought about for a moment. I'll be honest, because she was kind of trying to get him to say things, trying to, provoke him. But this is like you said, a good example of why would you put yourself out there. It's like you saying, "Oh, this man's so horrible." When women say, "Oh, their boyfriends are so horrible," but you still with him. It doesn't make sense. He's so horrible, but you want him and you're still with him and you continue to see them. But when it comes to the children, even for myself, and if you don't like something about someone you've been with before, I believe that even when you're talking to your children, or at any point if your children it might get back to your children, to family members or not, there's a way to say things. Hey, I don't like what some of the things your dad does. But you always talk positive on the people that your children look up to. Why do you beat down people that your children look up to and love? It just doesn't make sense. And it is rude. He's right. It's rude and it's wrong. I wouldn't want anyone to tear me down. I wouldn't tear down my kids' dads. I wouldn't do those kind of things. It just doesn't make sense to me. But maybe
I think a lot of times what I find is like a lot of women try to make their relationship with a man the same as the kids have the same relationship with their baby daddy as they have with their man. And I think that's what can be fucked up, because it was just like I don't know. I don't believe my dad ever cheated on my mom, but if I did, it wouldn't be my business to know as a child. You know, this child could see this interview and what have you and be like, what? You know, you cheated on my mama and blah, 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 blah. And what you call it? You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying if, you know, if there's an outside baby, there's like verifiable proof that he did something. But I mean, you don't have, it's just one of those things where it's out there. It's not something that you as my partner should be telling a interview for a magazine about. If he asked, you can come, you can still say something appropriate for the situation. Like, nah, but that I don't want him to be like you. I'm like, what? You don't want me to be a successful man who takes care of his kids? You know, you don't want to be a married, successful man who takes care of his kids, you know, who has failings. You know, it just makes it seem like you gotta be, there's no grace for you unless you hit all of these. You're in this box unless you stay in this box and live a certain way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of stepping out your marriage and having kids with other people and stuff like that. I think that's just weird. But it's just one of those things where that is still should be something that's held, unless it's right in the children's face. It's something that should be held between a man and a woman. I'm not with that whole like putting your business in the street, being messy with shit. You know, I get it, and I don't think she meant it to be like fucked up about it. I think she was just kind of like, maybe to do, you know, maybe I didn't give enough context. Maybe the dude asked about it, you know, infidelity, and then she said that. But I don't think that's the right answer to say. She could have been like, you know, there's been some situations that we had to deal with as a couple. We worked through it, and we stronger, or, you know, or we still working through it. But I don't think you should just be there like, yeah, you know, I don't want to be my sons to grow up to be like him, which negates, like he said, all the good shit he did.
Right. And I do think people forget. And it's easy. A lot of people, this is I think one of the worst things people forget about themselves. Your love for your partner, whoever it is different. You can forgive and move on with your partner. Other people do not. I don't care if it's your mom. If you're in a relationship, they say, you know, keep that part. There's some things that are private things. And if you go start telling your sisters and your cousin, oh, he did all this stuff. Not trying to say if you need some moral support, whatever. But if you're going there, you're saying all this crap, and then you turn back and get with the man, you may forgive and move forward and stay with the man and forgive him. Those people do not have the same connection to that person. They're going to look at him like forever and say, oh, you a dirty dog. You and that. They're going to forever feel the stuff that you felt in that moment that you no longer feel. They're going to still feel that forever. Yep. So you can't take it back. So you saying that right now, you fucked yourself, because you can't take that back. Everyone sees that.
Yeah, and I think people a lot of times, it happens in long-term relationships, where like you don't get credit for growth. Like you said, you did, Young Jock, I'm assuming did something wrong in the past. You know, like you said, they moved past it. They're in a good spot, I'm assuming. But like you're still talking about that old shit. So it's like, what's the point? Like, give me credit for growth. So you don't maybe say, I don't want my kids to do the things that you did in the past. But again, to say I don't want my kids.
I want my kids to be who you are now.
Yeah, that's some like hurtful shit to say.
Yeah, and she, like Shannon says, she meant the cheating and the lying. I watched the show. However, she knows and knew he was a dog when she married him. He had a baby on her, and she stayed. I don't feel sorry for her. I mean, it is. It's like nobody dates an NFL, NBA player, rapper, and in some cases actors with fidelity on their mind, realistically, because those aren't environments that breed faithful men. You know, so it's just, I don't understand why you would put such high regard on fidelity in those circumstances. If you get one and they just vouch you and what have you, you got lucky. You should appreciate that. You should be like, woo, I got lucky. But for the most part, you need to realize I'm going to deal with some fuckery for a few years, and then I may come out of it with something that's manageable and solid at the end of that.
So
that's what real life is.
So we're gonna say that anybody who starts dating somebody in that caliber up there, go ahead and become poly, so you can have a great experience with your love life. That's what I think it is. Maybe
just accept it like, hey, I got this great life. Here's the one little thing I got to deal with.
Right.
Yeah, and it's funny. And then you ask the partner, like, if he were to sit there and be like, okay, what's most important about our situation? He was like, is it the love? Is it the protection? Is it the financial security? Is it the family unit? If all that, if you can like either throw that away, because some women do, or like keep that at the forefront is for infidelity, then you're telling me it's fidelity. That means all that other shit don't mean shit, or not as much. All the shit else I do can be wiped away with some shit like that. And I think that's just a whack way of thinking. And like I said, if you with a dude, a young jock and the futures and all those other world, you know what you're getting. You know what you're in for.
I think young girls actually, for as many baby mamas and different kind of women he gets, I mean, they're kind of relatively, a little bit the same. He doesn't go too far out the box. I actually think this man has a great personality. That's what kind of vibe I get from him. I don't get that he's like a bad dude. I think he just really can't be monogamous. I think he really can't stay monogamous, but he's a really good person. And everyone says, you hear them say how nice he is and good he is. When they get cheated on, that's when he's a dirty dog. They never say that he's a horrible person. They just say he's dishonest and he's not loyal in a relationship. He needs to just stop playing and not be monogamous. I'm gonna be honest. He should just say, I want to be someone who's able to be in an open relationship or something else. I think he would be so much better than that. Because I can tell that the women he gets with, they genuinely like him. The one when they're with him and so public, they enjoy every moment. He does wonderful things, takes them out, does little cute things. He really is attentive as a partner, but he's not really good at being monogamous. I'll give him that.
And most people who have access to so much rarely are. I mean, you got access to it's not just you have access to women. There's women who will date you and mess with you and be with you knowing that it's going no further than that. So you don't even have to like pretend like you're gonna leave your woman for them. So he doesn't even have to like court them, take them on dates, nothing like that, So it's just like you gotta realize if you're gonna get with a person like that, there's some fuckery that's gonna be attached to it, and you're gonna have to just wade your way through it, be steadfast. And when he comes through that shit, and you providing and you showing that you providing way more than them other chicks, he'll get through it, and he's gonna find a value in you. You have to deal with it for a few years.
I know Young Jock still has fame, but like, does he still have money? Serious question.
He gets residuals. I'm sure he gets residuals. He has shows. He's still doing shows.
Yeah. I think he put his money somewhere else. I don't think he's big rich, but I think he's maintaining a lifestyle because he got paid a lot of child support. So I know,
I wouldn't be surprised if he's pulling out $500,000, $750,000 a year doing this shit. So let's see what's up. All right. That was a good one. Let me go to, I got two more. I want to show this next one. This next one is funny. I just had to like, I caught it. I wonder what people gonna think about this one. So hold on. All right, pull it up. Okay. All right. Hold on. Sorry about that. All right.
By the way, did you not get the memo on the suits? We all went dark today. You're like Easter service.
Y'all kind of leave me out. But man, as long as I get the text from my wife that says I look good.
Oh, really? Send me the text, babe. Send me the text. That's not the one she sent me. Outdoors.
Commercial live TV.
13 to 6.
Live TV.
Man on the covers. Welcome back to the Farm Rich halftime report. Just you and I here, Taki. I'm not sure what happened to Peter Burns, or did you have him keep your wife's name out of his mouth?
Huh?
We'll see how Peter Burns is with that smart mouth in the second half. But Gators do not get much going in the first half. Just
TJ, did you see that?
Yes.
Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. Hold on a second. Hold on. Sorry about that. Hold on. Sorry about that.
No, I saw it. I saw it.
Wow. He said, keep my wife's name out of my mouth. Wow.
Man. So now that's it. So the situation is, dude thought they was cool like that and made a joke about his wife sending him a text. And then reading into the story, it did come into like a physical altercation. Nobody threw any punches. It was a shoving match. And the other dude, he made it clear that if that dude comes back on the brother made it to the other white guy, that if he comes back on the set, they're gonna be a problem. And you saw when he sat down and the other white guy tried to make a joke, he looked at him like, huh? You want something too? You know, so that's what happened. People are calling it people are calling it toxic masculinity. That, you know, hypersensitivity, can't take a joke. Other people are saying that's what a man's supposed to do. Other people's wives and kids are off the table, and it's that, what is it, that fuck around and find out situation. And it looks like he fucked around and he found out. So what do you think about that, TJ? What do you think about, was old boy wrong? Was he right? Was he should have held his shit better?
I'm gonna say he was right on point. I don't know what their relationship was like. If that was their first time meeting on the show, I'm assuming yes, because like typically, like, so you know, black dudes, we grew up mama jokes your whole life. But I knew a black dude, like he was just like, hey man, I don't do the mama joke thing. Like don't do that shit. So like you just got to know people. But again, even like say me and you cool, we crack on each other's wives. But on TV, sometimes like, hey man, this ain't the right set, this ain't the right scenery for that. Like I know we do that when we kicking it at the crib, but like not on live TV. So it's just time and a place. And again, if you don't know somebody like that, you don't be talking about their mamas, wives, kids, crack. Like, nah, that's just not the right scenery, the right atmosphere for that.
What do you think, Miss Polly?
He didn't know that man like that. Like he said, he didn't know that man like that. Yeah, there's just some people, and some people like may think in a work situation like they're cool with you, but you're not really cool with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you're in a work situation, you gotta work with the people you're given, and now you get to choose. So you're polite and courteous, but like some people cross the line, you're like, dude, we ain't cool like that. So that was interesting to watch though. But yeah, I mean, a man serious about his wife. Serious about his wife.
Like
I mean, because people,
Will Smith moment, you know, it was like a.
That's why he said. That's what you heard him make the joke. Did you tell him to keep the wife's name out your mouth? He tried to make it into like a
yeah,
you know. But,
like, so I've heard people use the term your daddy, like talk like, you know, talking about your boss, like, hey, your daddy calling you, and like my dad died, and I'll check people like, hey man, I got one daddy, he died in 2005, so don't do that shit with me. You know, like people, I let people know quick, like, hey, some shit I'm cool joking about, that's not one of them. So don't do the whole, hey man, your daddy calling you. I don't play that, man.
I remember, like, I was on a panel and this one cat said something about somebody's wife, and you know, and it made me upset because I'm super protective of my wife. I'm like, dude, we own here. Say whatever you want about me. Look, you know, make fun of my fucking little topiary in the back. You know, whatever you want to do. Say whatever the fuck you want about me, but why you got to bring my wife into it? Because then that's when I go into hyper protective mode. And I may lose it on you. And it was just not, like I said, he didn't say nothing about my wife, but he said some other dude wife. And I was like, man, that's fuckery. That's fuckboy shit. Could try to, you losing an argument or whatever. So you bring in somebody's wife into it.
Right.
You know? I mean, it's just like, it's just one of those things where we will. The people who know we that cool, and those people don't say shit about my wife. You know, TJ, my boy Ty, my boy Bruce, they would never say nothing about my wife because they know what's up. They know how we are regarding each other's wives. You know, people try to have that familiarity they haven't earned yet and end up getting slapped. That's what happens. You know, seriously.
I don't know if I get the whole hyper masculine thing. So because he don't like nobody talking about his wife, he's hyper masculine. I don't know if I can get that.
Well, they were trying to say that he could have kind of like, you know, like brought it down, the situation, calmed the situation down without getting physical, or not without like, you know, he could have just when the commercial break could have been like, man, that wasn't cool. Don't do that again, or whatever. But that's what he was saying. He was just feeling like he had to be hyper masculine, and you know. And I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I think it was because of your brother that they start throwing that hyper masculine shit around. But I think it was less than your brother and more that he was a professional athlete. And it's all about respect and what have you. So it might have been because of his brother, but he was a brother who's a professional athlete.
Right. But we don't know. Also, we don't know if they had a thing privately that was going on where he kept throwing jabs at him prior to this. And
nah, that dude seemed like they would have something would have happened sooner than that.
I mean, because the joke itself seemed like why would he even say that? Because you know why? I mean, I don't know. Like, you don't know what's going to. Man might be set off, but there's women who are like that too. So I don't think it's all men. There are women who are like that with their men. So if you can get it from anywhere, depends on who it is and how it touches them. I know it's maybe not as bad, but there are women out here fighting. They just, you see them women out there. Don't act like y'all don't see them. You know, you talk about
yeah. This baby mamas fighting each other. They were all day long. It's some baby mamas fighting over a no good dude right now somewhere in the United States, somewhere in the hood. You know, seriously, they fighting right now, and the dude just sitting up there playing Xbox.
Right. He ain't said nothing either. They're like, you know, you want me. He didn't say nothing.
He was with me last night.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of shit.
Right.
So, all right. So I just had, that was just one that just was like, damn. I was like, dude, just put it out there. It's like, but the funny thing to me was when he came back and the other dude tried to say something and he was like, huh? Like, you got something to say? And he shut up quick. He checked. He was like, that huh said volumes. All right. I'm gonna get to the next one. Now this goes into something that I find very interesting, and I know the people are gonna find it interesting. This next one is gonna be one to talk about. So let me pull it up here. All right. All right.
Friends. Kenan Thompson and Chris Redd are friends. At least until Chris started schnooping Kenan's estranged wife.
Kenan Thompson from SNL, his estranged wife is now dating his co-star, Chris Redd.
Oops.
Damn, that's gonna make working on SNL together super awkward.
Chris Redd also just left the show a couple weeks ago.
Great, problem solved, except for the whole banging my wife thing.
But we're being told that there was no overlap, there was never any kind of infidelity, that basically Kenan and his estranged wife, Christina Evangeline, they had been living apart separately with the intent of divorce since 2019. Her and Chris didn't start connecting romantically until about a year ago.
So what? It doesn't matter. Kenan is not cool with that.
Are we resurfacing this stupid bro code?
Yes! The code is the code!
It feels like what you're saying is that somebody is like chattel.
No, you're just not a bro. You're not a bro.
And he ought to know, because he's the broiest bro that ever broed a bro. But come on, this whole thing is a little weird.
There's plenty of women.
Hypothetically, if you divorced Mary
and then she got with Dylan.
And got with Dylan, I would take care of her.
I'll take care of her. Oh my.
Mary would eat you like a Black Widow spider, dude. You would have no chance.
Yeah, but just in case he stuck his face into your wedding pics just to save your wife time later. Good luck, you wacky trio!
All right. What do we think about that? We'll go with you. Start with you, Miss Polly.
Wow. Yeah, it's really uncomfortable. I don't know. I don't know the relationship. If they were friends, they might have just been co-stars. I mean, I guess since they don't work together anymore, maybe it's not so bad. It's still weird. Still weird. Like,
but they had to start kicking it while he was still on the show.
Or knew each other at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. I just think it's weird. I just think it's a weird.
Would you do that? Would you do that if you had a girlfriend?
I have no room to talk because I have no room to talk. I'm sorry, I'll be honest.
I want to hear. Please explain. Expound.
I'll expound just a little tad. I've talked to friends before, or yes. So I can't be.
Wait, how significant has the ex been? Has it been like, oh, we dated, oh, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, oh, we were fucking married?
Yeah.
She like all of the above.
It was a lot, yeah. But listen, I have no room to talk. But I will say that it's regardless if in time it was a little strange at first. It got better after time, but it was still strange. A little bit weird. Like the relationship dynamic was kind of strange. But it was fine. We were fine after that.
And you felt no kind of like, damn, I shouldn't be like what's called it? Was this a marriage? You don't gotta give specifics. Was this a marriage situation or was it just like a dating situation?
No, I dated one friend and then I dated and married the other one. So yeah, I think that it qualifies.
Okay. So the cis code is just non-existent in Miss Polly household. In Polly world,
it was weird. I don't know. I have no reasoning for it. I have to say, I have no room to talk, but it's still weird. Okay. I've experienced it, so I know that it still feels weird when it's like you don't know what to do in a situation. Like we came to a place or we went to somewhere, it'd be like, what does this look like? For a little while, but we got over it. We were fine, but it does happen.
Okay. TJ.
Levels to this shit. I'm never messing with nobody's wife. Like whether I just work with you, we homies, never messing with your wife. Girlfriend, that ain't a real thing to me. So girlfriend, yeah, can I put business out the street? I don't even know.
But, yeah, you can put whatever you want, dude. Whatever you want. We keep it funky.
How many of the same girls have we fucked before? I can think of 4 off the top of my head.
If you don't know Miss Polly, TJ is my cousin. And
that's okay. No, I'm taking them. That's what I'm saying. Like this, those kind of things happen if you're friends. I mean, but that's that man's whole wife. Like he's still married to her.
Yeah.
I'm not messing with nobody's wife that like I know worked with hell no. And not really the jealous type, but if like somebody started messing with my ex-wife that like I know, it would be like, damn dog, that's some foul shit.
That's some foul shit. Especially if you had like if you like interacted, if you shook my wife's hand while she was my wife, and then you start messing with her, that's pretty bad in my eyes. But let me just like I said, me and TJ, when we used to go out, we came to an agreement very early on. It was like whoever they want, that's who get them. We don't fight over nobody. We don't got no claims on nobody. If this wasn't a relationship, girlfriend, long-term relationship that you are still trying to pursue, or if it was, and you been out of it for a while, it's all fair game. It's all fair game. More of some chick, especially. It was like it's all fair game. We have never had a disagreement over a woman, and believe me, we ain't stupid. There's been times he's made a chick mad, and she's come and hooked up with me to make him mad, and I've made a chick mad, and she went and hooked up with him to make me mad. We ain't stupid that women play that game, and all we do is just we laugh about it after.
I have a question then. So let's just give an example for my own situation. So if you guys were friends and I dated one and then I dated the other one separately at another time, and I end up going further than just dating them, I think that's fair game. I think even though it seems similar, it's I feel like that's fair game.
That's how we thought it was fair. Like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
dating. Like, I ain't got no plans on marrying her. We date, we having a good time. Okay, we ain't together no more. Like, hey man, I want to holler. Go ahead, bro. Do it. Like she go ahead and do your thing.
I mean, our personalities and the shit we are so much alike. It's been times. I remember one time where like people have like thought we were the same person. Like they've met him, like, you know, I mean, it's been times when we were younger and stuff like that. Like when we go to clubs and stuff like that in the city, where I'd know a chick and we was cool, and she's like, "Oh, I met this dude who reminds me of you. You got to meet him, and it's my cousin."
Wow.
You know, I'm like, oh yeah. It was like he said he reminds me of you. Y'all move the same kind of way, and it's my cousin. And it's just been like, of course, you know, it's my cousin. Of course, you know, we are like, we came in the same car, you know.
Lord.
But again,
you
levels.
know?
I think once you get to like that wifey level, like that's some shit just got to be off limits. Like some shit just got to be off limits.
Yeah,
I mean, that's weird. Because I think it almost feels like, okay, so the reason I say it's kind of weird, it's going to be a weird environment for a woman. Like I said, if you're the woman, but if you're in a situation where you know they met before, you're thinking, well, his intent was he liked her prior to us being divorced and separated. Like he was interested in her, and then
my man Sir World King says it's disloyal and dishonorable. I mean, marriage, yeah. I mean, it just creates an environment of like, y'all had to be talking when we were still kicking it or something. You had to have some kind of connection because it's like, you know, I know they said that they haven't been like really living together doing their thing for like 2 years or something like that. But I don't know. That means he's been looking at you for over 2 years to try to holler at you. He's been waiting for me to fuck up so he could get all up in there. You know, same thing happened. What was that Matt Barnes, Derek Fisher? Yeah. Same situation. Like he was his teammate.
Drove like 8 hours, or one of them drove
Matt
like
Barnes drove like 8 hours to beat up Derek Fisher.
Wow.
Seriously. And it was just like he drove 8 hours, then drove from Sacramento to LA.
Wow.
Or wherever, jumped over a fence to whoop his ass. And that was a well-deserved ass whooping.
Well-deserved ass whooping.
Well-deserved ass whooping.
He meant business. That's all I'm saying.
Play basketball together, like you don't fuck my ex-wife. Like what the like that's just some foul shit.
I mean, seriously. So yeah, it's just one of those things. But Keenan, he's playing what you call it? World King said Amari on the Little Fest too. Yeah, I saw that. I don't really follow.
It's a little bit different. I mean, that's a little bit different. I don't know. For me, it's like you said, it's a whole. It's just a weird environment. That's all I can say.
You can't go from uncle somebody to stepdaddy. You just can't. You know, that's just when his kids involved. Be like coming through, like, oh, this your uncle, blah blah blah, and then 2 years later, your mama introducing like, oh, this your new stepdaddy. You know?
Yeah. That's a little. Yeah, that kind of threw me off. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know.
Anything about this, like,
you know, the funny thing is, and this is I got a book into this story. So he's been like, I'm cool with it, no issues, no problem. You know, I got no issues. I'm doing my thing. We're separated, so do you? But watch this next video.
Okay.
Keep an eye on this man in the baseball cap. That's former SNL cast member Chris Redd walking down McDougal Street, heading to a gig at the Comedy Cellar Wednesday night when he's suddenly punched in the nose and collapses onto the sidewalk.
He had his nose cracked, not broken, but split, and a lot of blood was coming out.
Fabrizio Cavalacci owns Cafe Reggio next door. He was outside when the attack happened around 9:40 p.m. and immediately heard the commotion.
A whole bunch of people gathered there, and they really bashed the poor guy. He was really bleeding a lot.
He says right away people sprang in to help and police officers were thankfully close by.
One of the managers, she was trying to stop the bleeding. Then after an ambulance came, we took a pail of hot water to clean the sidewalk because it was really messy.
Red was reportedly taken to Bellevue Hospital for his injuries. Police say the suspect in the attack fled. Cavalacci, meanwhile, says right after the attack, he watched two people run off down McDougal Street. Also says he's noticed that crimes like this are more frequently.
Now, I ain't saying that Keenan had something to do with it, but surely after it's announced that he's dating his wife, the nigga get his nose broke. I'm just saying.
Did like Keenan do that?
No, just some dudes did it. They didn't rob him. They didn't do nothing. They just saw him walking down the street and broke his fucking face. I mean, all I'm saying is you can say you cool with it, and I'm not saying that he did it. I'm just saying he might have did it.
Or his fans will do it. These fans out here.
I mean, seriously, as cool as he is, if he didn't directly like pay or holler at somebody to do it, and one of his fans just on some "you a fuck boy sleeping with your boy's wife" did it, he's somewhere laughing his ass off.
He is a little bit in his heart, absolutely.
And I can't say that dude didn't deserve that. That's just, to me, again, you put yourself in that situation when you're like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck my homeboy's wife or ex-wife. I'm sorry. I'm gonna start fucking my homeboy's ex-wife.
Well, no, she's not his ex. They did not get officially divorced. She is married to him.
I mean, but they're together. Either way.
I think it.
Shannon say she's more responsibility to be loyal, dudes or dogs, and for the streets. I knew Shannon was gonna say that.
I mean, I'm saying that they could, even though they said they were estranged, they were maybe not. But at that point, come on, you guys have money. It's not like you couldn't get divorced expedited. You were probably trying to work it out still to some degree. So at this point,
when you got that much money and kids,
it don't take that long to initiate the divorce.
Yeah, that's
Nobody
true.
initiated no divorce. There was no papers filed. It's just they were just estranged. That doesn't count as a serious take for me. I'm gonna be honest. When people do that, it's either you're gonna get divorced or why we even separate. We're working on it. We may not be in the same house, but we somehow still think there could be a chance that, because you would just initiate that. Even if you have a lot of money, the initiation doesn't do anything but initiate. Cardi B initiated several times. They didn't do it. Come on, be sincere about your movements. Your intent is just all messed up.
Hey, I want to address Shannon's little comment real quick. Dan, can you pull that back up? I don't know if you
want to pull that back up. Okay, hold on a second. Pull it back up here.
And man, for a hot second, dude's gonna be dog. So partially correct, Shannon. Dude's gonna be dogs. I ain't saying I'm proud of this, but I have cheated with a lot of married women. So married women be dogs too, Shannon. So don't just be putting it all on dudes. All right.
And I have never cheated with, but I have been the guy a married woman have cheated with.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Many of times.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I've had sex with a lot of married women. So
God,
yeah,
that sounds horrible.
We were in Hawaii. These husbands would go on TDY. They go on duty, and I would slide my little Carmel self in there, and they just forgot that they had husbands left and right.
Oh, over and over again, dude.
Hope Air Force Base, North Carolina. Fort Bragg, all them Army dudes be out in the field. They wives be out there doing their thing. So I'm just defending men. not even defending men, putting women on that same plane. Women be dogs too.
Yeah, that's not dividing the human race. Everybody can be animals.
Exactly. So that's what's up.
I see many a nightstand picture of the married couple, and I just laid that motherfucker down real quick while I was doing my thing.
Seriously, I ain't even do that.
Let me lay that down real quick.
I'll be like shooting them the two gun.
Are these women giving like oral with their rings on? I'm just asking. Not saying matter. It's still cheating. I'm just I just don't care. There's nothing. No.
They don't give a fuck. You can't tell me shit.
I was like, I mean, seriously, you would go to like spots and they be out every fucking weekend. Yes. Like they ain't married. Hollering like dancing all on some new, it needs to be like older. It needs to be like, 30, 40-year-old women dancing on some new 25-year-old dude. So
Shannon, married women cheat too. Women be dogs too.
For real. For real.
I'm taking it in.
So, well, that's it. That's all I had. That's the last video I wanted to react to. I gotta admit, it was a lot. It was funnier the second time around. I gotta say. Hold on a second. But let's see what Shannon got to say. She replied. I think she's coming back at you.
Oh, okay.
It's more responsible. Oh, no, hold on a second. She said, I expect the friend to be foul, but the married person is the married person. Okay. You're right. You're right. Well, that's it. That's it, y'all. Those are the videos. I want to appreciate y'all showing the love, coming through, what have you. I want to give 2 shouts out. First, I want to give it out to United Players for lacing me with this hoodie. It's an organization out in California that provides alternatives to youth out there in dangerous situations. They mentor, they provide job training and what have you. They're a bunch of OGs who taking their game and doing well with it. And I got a shout, they're doing some great things out there. So shout out to United Players. And it's I know a lot of people couldn't make it. I appreciate my panel so much, because it's Thanksgiving on Thursday, so a lot of people got to be cooking and getting prepping and stuff like that. But I don't want to get political, but I would be remiss without saying, my wife has, indigenous Native American roots, and for some people, it's not the joyful situation that a lot of people would make it out to be. There's a lot of people who have history of heartache and sorrow when it comes to this holiday. So I'm not going to say happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to say enjoy the time with your family, enjoy the time, enjoy the food, enjoy the connection, what have you, because that's what I make it about. That's what we're doing on Thursday, is just making it about connecting with our family. So I hope everybody has some great food, connect with your family, be safe out there. We really appreciate y'all rocking with us. If you haven't liked or subscribe, like or subscribe. If you have something you want the panel, because I think we'll be back in full effect next week after the holidays are past. If you got something that you want us to talk about, go ahead and drop it in a comment and let us know something that you thought was cool. If you got a video you want to send me, you can send it to can I get some podcast at gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Can I Get Some Podcast on IG. Miss Polly, you want to shout out if you want to shout out where they can follow you at?
Yeah. On Instagram, I'm Miss Polly Wright everywhere. Miss Polly is the first part. Polly Wright, POLYRIGHT. I'm on Facebook. I'm on, like I said, I'm even on TikTok. So I use my Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. Same thing, Miss Polly Wright. I mostly talk about like, relationships, and not just poly relationships, but just having good relationships as a base. And then I try to combine both. So it doesn't just pertain to one or the other. And I talk about lifestyles and things like that, and just kind of give clarification to some people who think poly seems really soupy, like a lot of word soup. So I try to break it down as best as possible. And just spreading the word and basically advocating for poly people, showing you guys, you know, we do exist and we all look different, and we're just trying to bring love to the table. So that's what I pretty much do.
She's gonna be my next interview. So my next can I get some interviews is gonna be Miss Polly. We gonna break down her whole shit. How did she even get involved in this? How, you know, how the men in her life are dealing with it, how, you know, some of the things she's already been putting out there a lot. But I want to get to the nitty gritty, and I want to really see how she does it, how it started, how it's working for her. So she will be the next Can I Get Some interview. So look out for that, you guys. All right, TJ, anything you want to shout out?
Oh no, man, it was a pleasure. I don't have that interest in life. All I do is just go to work, come home, and post silly shit on Instagram. If you want to follow me, TJ3636.
Yeah, man. This cat's doing big things. He's working for Virgin Galactic, putting those space. He's making sure that spaceships go up and come down safely. So he's doing big things, and I really appreciate y'all showing up. And I just got to give y'all a round of applause. And with that, we're out.